Hey guys, it's Caleb with White Metal Games here. It is Sunday, the Sunday after Thanksgiving, 2012. I think it's the 29th, and I hope you had a great Thanksgiving. And we are back in the workshop now. We're back in full swing, and so I wanted to show you some of the projects we worked on over the Thanksgiving break. We took a few things with us, brought a few things back, and I thought I'd show you our current progress, what we worked on over the week, and let's just jump right into it. So this week, worked on a few new terrain projects. The terrain projects of the week were bones. So what I like to do is buy these cheap model kits. You can get them for, whatever, 10, 15 bucks. So you buy these from stores like Safari LTD and, whatever, Planet Disney and those sorts of places and lots of different stuff. So you buy those, and it's mounted on hardboard, which is kind of an MDF equivalent, but cheaper and easier to work with. We use this stucco that we apply to it as a surface material. Lay the bones down, make it look like they've been ravaged with a little bit of time, so we applied a little stucco there, right there to the shoulder joint. Then we use various shades of blues and whites to sort of create a multi-layered technique, and then we apply this top layer of white flocking material. This is a heavy clumping white. It's basically baking soda. And then we put all that down and mount that, and that is a very large piece of terrain. As you can see here, the Tyranid, the Space Marine there standing on the base, and there's the wide of it. So pretty good, nice piece of area terrain, certainly a dynamic piece to fight on. Looks good, easy to manufacture. We'll be selling those for relatively cheap. They come completely fabricated just like this, or very, very similar to this, and painted. The only downer to it is the baking soda does clump off a little bit over time, so if that's the case, buy yourself a 99-cent box of baking soda at your local grocery store, tube of Elmer's glue for $1, and just sprinkle a little glue on there and sprinkle a little extra baking soda, let it dry overnight, and cover up any holes. So very, very quick and easy, simple recipe to fix any sort of blunders there. Here's a couple extra pieces, as we did as other examples. Here's a set of dinosaur bones, a Brachiosaurus, I think. Or Brontosaurus or something like that. He's mounted to the same sort of thing. Here's a smaller dinosaur. This is a Stegosaurus, and this is actually a different type of plastic model. It's much thicker, more of a toy, but that's a smaller one. So this one's maybe about the size of your fist. And then this is what we call a pile of bones. This is just basically spares that we get from anything. We get spares from various toy kits and model kits. Here's a leg bone, a foot, and a rib cage. And that makes a nice little sort of barricade/barrier. Again, they're mounted on this hardboard basing material, which is, you can see the blue has come through there when I've removed them around and primed them. So that's those. A couple new Tyranid primes. Let's see if I can't put these over here. These we made because we had the legs left over for from some Doom of Malentides we made recently. So basically, it's a regular Tyranid warrior torso mounted to an old 3rd edition Tyranid Hive Tyrant leg set, and the tails. Here's the tail. If I can twist it around with my hand, there is a good shot of the back of that. And you can see that it actually does come through his legs. On this one, you can see the tail jutting through the legs there. So it comes through. It looks pretty dynamic. One of them, or two of these guys I made have a bone sword lash whip, and that also uses the 3rd edition bits. Those are pretty substantial. They're hefty looking. I like the look of those a lot. And then this one, we ran out of those, so I used a pair of bone swords. These bone swords are from Max Mini. They're a resin bone sword, and you have to mount them yourself to your arms, which is, I think, one of the reasons they weren't very popular. So what I do is I take Ravener arms, and I use a heat gun to heat up the fingers, and I melt them a little bit, just bend them around the halves, make it look like they're grabbing them. Works pretty well. So that's that. Let's see, we got these two guys as well. So they look small there. Let's bring them up to scale. Let me move this out of here. So if you've been following, we've been working on a Studio Chaos / Necron army with an Egyptian theme. So these are two of the models for that army. So the one on the left here, I was originally going to count him as a Demon Prince, but he's so big I just decided to count him as a Maulerfiend instead, and I went ahead and mounted him to the 90x120. The base is from a company called Dragon Forge, by the way, that does quality resin bases. If you buy from them, be sure to tell them White Metal Games sent you. He is basically the top half of a War Sphinx kit, mounted at the lower half of a Chimera from the Storm of Magic line, not to be confused with the Imperial Guard tank. And then just a few extra spares were added to it. The wings, although Maulerfiends do not fly, I like the wings because it gives me the impression that he's sort of leaping across the battlefield, sort of fluttering about, which allows for the Siege Crawler special rule to really work, in my mind. Now, he is in fact all GW pieces, as a matter of fact, with the exception of the base and the gray stuff. So he certainly is completely tournament worthy, if a little bit unusual. So I like him a lot. This is what we're doing for our Forgefiend. Now, this guy is probably not tournament okay because the base model is a Star Wars droid called a Crab Droid, I think. It's a huge model. And then we mounted to that with lots of different spares, including this tail from the War Sphinx kit. The arms are from the actual Maulerfiend kit, or Forgefiend kit. A few more bits. These bits of parchment are gray stuff that's been dried and mounted to the base, and then it's based to a standard 90 by 120. So it's just a variety of bits. He's got this whole Scorponok look to him, which I like quite a bit, and he is certainly a fun piece. Show you a couple more things. Here's a squad of Thousand Suns. GW is currently not producing Thousand Suns because they are delayed. So what we've did is we bought a whole bunch of bits, and we've been manufacturing them for clients that are special requests. Because of the low number we have in stock, they are a little bit pricey. Be sure to check out our web store to get the price on that. But we send you the squad fully painted, fully assembled with a rhino, and I think you get all that for $275. So $275 for 10 men, plus the rhino, fully assembled, fully painted to the Thousand Suns color scheme, or a color scheme of your choice. And although it might sound like a lot at first, bear in mind that we are upping the price a little bit just because of the fact that GW does not have these models available. So this is for players that need the models in the next week or two. They need them before the holidays. They have a tournament coming up, that sort of thing. Even when GW releases them in December, it could be a few weeks before you can actually get your models, and then you have to assemble them and paint them on your own. If you're strapped for time, we're here to help. We have the bits now, so we can produce the models immediately. So bear that in mind when you think about pricing. Last model we have for you today. This is another thing. We are trying to, so we've been trying to sell Bjorn for a while here. He's our Emperor Titan. Now, I know I never showed the head and arms with him. The head and arms do exist, and if you follow the rest of my videos, you'll see them. But the head, although it's a little hard to see right here, is I did it as a big wolf head. And it's almost a caricature-style wolf. Sort of think of the wolf head on the ram in Lord of the Rings, and you're in the right mindset. Now, I really like the head and the arms that we did for this thing. We did this massive plasma cannon, and we did this massive assault bolter. But that being said, some people are traditionalists. In fact, I would say most people are traditionalists, and they wanted a very traditional head. So what I did was I marked the price from this thing down to the point now that I'm really just making no profit at all. In fact, I'm losing money. I'm making material cost back, and I'm losing that really. It's only on local pickups because, unfortunately, shipping costs on this thing with FedEx, freight, the cheapest they go is like $350 or something. So, unfortunately, I can't really ship it. It has to go local. If I'm not able to sell it local, I'm probably just going to give it away for a tax write-off in terms of like a charity donation or something like that. So, if you're interested in it, please email me. It will not be around forever. We are moving on. We're getting rid of it, and we're going to be moving on to new models. We just want to get it out of here. So email me, make me a deal, let me know what you're interested in, and I'll see what I can work with. Bear in mind that the price right now at $425 is a losing price. I am losing money at this point, which is fine because it was a learning experience, and that's invaluable. But please don't try to wheedle me down to $100. It's just not going to happen. I will give it away to a charity before I will sell it for $100. So if you're interested, please email me at calebfilm@yahoo.com. That being said, like I mentioned earlier, some people are more traditionalist. They want a more traditional head. So we are gathering together some pieces in order to start to assemble a more traditional head. That's nothing. So we found this picture of a one we really, really liked. We kind of like this head. There was an interpretation of a Warlord Titan head. It's kind of got a visor feel going on and sort of a knight-style grill, which we liked. So we got together a bunch of different bits, some Halloween pieces and some Iron Man bits, and some spare bits from some just kits. So we are going to be assembling that over the next week or so. So this will have a new head hopefully in a week or two. If you buy it, I will build a new head for free, no extra charge. but bear in mind this is a local pickup only at this point. If you live within 5 or 6, 7, 8, 9 hours of Raleigh, North Carolina, I can probably meet you somewhere and drop it off and do like a client exchange. That might be weird to you. You may think that's crazy. We can't interact in person. We can. Just like any business, you can meet me in person. I can give you this, and we can make sure that way it gets to you safely and soundly and securely. So if you live in North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, West Virginia, Virginia, Kentucky, even parts of northern Florida, call me or email me at calebfilm@yahoo.com, and we can talk about the possibility of meeting somewhere in between to sort of get this to you, get this to a nice, happy home where someone will enjoy it, even with a new head. So our final piece of the day is I'm working on another Primarch. This is going to be an Angron conversion. Now, before you go all, what the crap is that guy? Please bear in mind that my stuff is usually a little more out there than some other converters. So the Angron model you see in the GW White Dwarf kind of had this large, leering physique, almost like an ape. And so that got me thinking, man, I really want to make it look like just a gorilla out of control. So I picked up this head from Reaper. You can buy just the head in their graveyard. He's from a giant King Kong style mini. The arms are from the new, what do they call that thing? The new Maulerfiend. The sword is from a Soul Grinder, which I'm not for sure where I even got that. The wings are from a Flyrant, Tyranid Hive Tyrant. Shoulder pads are from a Mattel toy, a Skeletor Samurai. The body is from a Cygor. And although I do have the Cygor legs, I'm planning to use some Forgefiend legs. So all told, he's going to stand about the same height as a Cygor, which will mean he'll stand, give or take, about 6 inches tall or so, with the wingspan expanding that to about 8 to 9 to 10 inches. The reason I'm making him so big is I've seen him smaller before. I've seen him, Demon Prince size, and he's a 500-point model. I just felt like he should be bigger. Forge World puts out several demons, Zarachniel and Angarath, and just a whole bunch of different guys that are massive. They're almost the size of guys like that Conan up there that are just made by companies like McFarlane, Spawn. They're just huge. They're massive. And so you almost want something that big. For a 500-point model, I was like, man, I really want something that just dwarfs the other models. So he's going to stand about 8 to 9 inches tall when he's all said and done. And I'll probably mount him to an oval base or a chariot base. Since the Cygor comes on a chariot base, I think that's semi-appropriate. And I know Zarachniel's mounted to a chariot base as well, so I think there's some standard for it. So he's going to be up and finished soon. Of course, I've got to do some head cabling and some more bits work, but he's coming along. If you're just turning into this channel, obviously you know that we are a... oh, here comes my kitty. Hey, buddy. We are a miniature conversion studio for hire. We are a smaller, growing studio, and we certainly are looking forward to working with you. If you're a potential client or just a hobby enthusiast, please email me at calebfilm@yahoo.com. And you can reach me about model conversions, commission work, consignment work, painting. We have 2 painters in studio at this point, and they are both eager to take on new projects, and we offer not the lowest rates available. They're not the cheapest rates out there. If you want to find a college student who's looking for spare change, you can probably do it cheaper. But we are a professional miniature service. We do this as a full part-time thing. We do this 20 to 30 hours a week. We work hard at it, and we hope that you like our videos. We like doing them. So even when it's a little slower, we enjoy putting stuff out there. I guess that's it for this week. Next week we will have some new painted models. We've got some some War Machine and Horde starters coming up. We've got some Dark Angels coming up from the Dark Angels Vengeance set. And we're going to start some new projects, so look forward to that. And look forward to the continuation of the Necron Chaos Army. That'll be coming up and finished up soon. We've got a few more things to build with that. We're going to do some wonky stuff to finish it all up, and that'll be it. And then we'll be ready to start painting that project and getting that painted, hopefully in the winter, and get that done, and then move on to our next project, which we're not for sure what it's going to be yet. But we're excited by all the different possibilities. I'm thinking we're going to do a Space Wolf project for the next one. We're going to do a Dark Angel army for sure when the Dark Angel Codex comes out. But I've been itching to do a red Space Wolf army for a while. We're going to do a Red Wolf army. I think we're going to call it like the Wolf Lords or something like that, based on a fluff army that was excommunicated, like a Chaos equivalent army. Because I'm really digging the Chaos stuff right now. I'm really into the new Codex, and I'm really excited by it. I know people give it a hard time, that it's not exactly what they were looking for, and I kind of agree in some ways. I do think GW could have done a lot more with it. I think they could have put out some really extravagant models, some chaosy tanks with weird cannons, and new predators with these antiquated weapons. And I think they should have done more with that, but I also know that a lot of those decisions aren't based on designer input. They're based on what the company can do in terms of putting out a new mold, putting out new presses. And I personally think GW is doing a fairly good job. I would like to see more. But, I do like the new models. I like the Forgefiend. I like the Maulerfiend. I like the Helldrake. I like the new character models. So I think, kudos. They did a good job. And I want to see more. And I want to build more. So if you're interested in helping us continue this work, then email me at caleb@yahoo.com. And I'll put a link here in the blog, or in the video. Check out our blog at whitemetalgames.blogspot.com. And until next week, put your minis where your mouth is. Happy wargaming. Bye-bye.